All right, let's talk about a term you've probably heard buzzing around a lot: zero trust. It sounds kind of intense, right? Almost a little paranoid. But what does that even mean? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut right through the hype and break down what this incredibly important security idea is all about.
So let me just ask you this. How safe do you think your data really is? For like decades, the go-to answer was just to build a huge digital wall around everything. But what happens when your team, and more importantly, your data, aren't even inside that wall anymore? That's the huge problem we're all facing today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at why that old fortress model is totally failing us. Then we'll dive into zero trust itself, break down its core principles, talk about why it's so critical right now, and finally, get into the big mindset shift that makes it all click.
So first up, the failing fortress. To really get why this new solution is so revolutionary, we first have to see exactly why the old way of doing things is, well, completely broken.
The old security model was basically a medieval castle, right? You had your big, strong walls, a deep moat, the whole deal. If you were inside, hey, you're trusted, you're one of us. If you were outside, you were a potential threat. Simple. But that whole model just shatters when our data is living in the cloud and our teams are working from literally anywhere. The castle doesn't mean anything when the people who need the crown jewels and the jewels themselves are scattered all over the world. So, if the castle and moat idea is obsolete, what's the alternative? Well, this is where zero trust comes in. A much, much better analogy for today is a modern airport. Think about it. Does it matter who you are? Nope. Everybody, and I mean everybody, shows their ID and their boarding pass at multiple checkpoints. That's the core idea right there. Okay, so here's the official definition. Zero trust is a security model that's built on one powerful premise: trust absolutely no one by default. It doesn't matter if you're connecting from the outside or if you're sitting right next to the server in the office. Every single attempt to access anything has to be verified. Every single time. The whole idea of a trusted internal network is just a thing of the past. And this right here, if you only remember one thing, make it this. This is the mantra of zero trust. It's simple, it's powerful, and it is the absolute heart of the entire strategy. Never trust, always verify.
So, how does this airport security for your data actually work in practice? Well, it all really boils down to three core principles.
These three principles really build on each other. First, you verify explicitly. That's the part where you show your ID and boarding pass. Every single request gets authenticated, no exceptions. Second, you use least privilege access. A boarding pass to London doesn't get you on the flight to Tokyo, right? You get access only to what you absolutely need and nothing more. And third, this one's critical, you assume breach. Airport security always operates as if a threat is already inside. Zero Trust does the same thing, designing security to contain and minimize damage from threats that might already be in the system. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But now let's get to the most important question of all. Why does this matter so much right this very second? I mean, just take a look at this. The shift to remote work wasn't a slow crawl, it was an absolute explosion. Every single one of those new remote connections is another potential door for an attacker. The surface area we have to defend has grown exponentially, which makes that old idea of a single secure castle seem pretty ridiculous. And the stakes here, they're enormous. We're talking real, serious financial damage. The average cost of a data breach today is in the millions of dollars. That's not just an inconvenience. For a lot of companies, that is a catastrophic business-ending event. Zero Trust isn't just a security strategy. It's really an investment in pure survival. And this brings us to our last point, and it might just be the most important one. You see, you don't just go out and buy Zero Trust. It's about a fundamental shift in how you even think about security in the first place. It is so crucial to get this. There is no magic box you can buy to suddenly have Zero Trust. It's a strategy. It's a philosophy that has to be woven into a company's DNA, into its culture, its policies, its technology. It's a continuous process, not some one-and-done fix. So let's quickly recap the big takeaways. Number 1, the old castle and moat way of thinking is officially broken. 2, the new model is Zero Trust, built on that simple but powerful motto: never trust, always verify. 3, it works by explicitly checking every request and giving out the absolute minimum access required. And finally, it's not just a piece of tech. It's a vital strategy for our modern, borderless world.
So I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. As our digital world becomes our real world and all the old boundaries just fade away, the question we have to ask isn't about building higher walls. It's about what you're actually choosing to trust to keep you safe in a world that doesn't have them anymore. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.